We could talk about climate change, we could talk about poverty, we could even talk about racism, but all of these things will be irrelevant if we are all dead. So one of the major reasons that ISIS is winning right now is, well, it's not because of their intensive training, and it's not because of their military intelligence. Both of those are pretty non-existent. But it's because of their morale boost, specifically their religion. They're the fourth most military group to treat their soldiers as 100% expendable. They're not afraid to die in any way at all, as long as it fulfills out the purpose that they're trying to complete at the time. But because of their religion, they believe it's their absolute purpose in life to purify the world of the infidel. And if you don't know what infidel is, basically anyone who hasn't conformed to the religion of Islam is an infidel. So everyone in this room is considered an infidel to them. And in their Quran, apparently, if they complete their mission enough, like with purifying the world of infidels, killing them, um, in their own version of the afterlife, they are given 72 virgins and a jeweled up crown, which is, yeah. But I mean, if you believe, like truly believe, in your soul that what you were doing is purely right, I mean, like you would pretty much do anything to fulfill that purpose. So, but in their Quran, which is their version of the Bible, which is pretty big, it contains at least 109 verses that call Muslims to war with non-believers, infidels, for the sake of Islamic rule. Some are pretty graphic. No, it's actually most of them are pretty graphic. It's kind of their thing if you haven't noticed. It commands them to decapitate people, chop off their fingers, and kill infidels wherever they are. Muslims who do not join the fight are considered hypocrites among their society and warn that Allah will send them to hell if they do not join the slaughter. That is the hit line anyway. But that's not even the ridiculous part of this. They have a nearly infinite supply of money to fund their war campaign. 81% of the Earth's oil supply. And that's 81% of the entire Earth's oil supply comes from them. They actually produce 1,206 billion barrels per year. They control 30,000 barrels a day that Iraq produces, and ISIS controls 50,000 barrels a day that Syria produces. And so they can make over $2 million a day and $97 million a month. That's almost $100 million a month. You could buy like a small country with that.
Security. We also need to make it harder for people to buy powerful assault weapons, like the ones that were used in San Bernardino. I know there are some who reject any gun safety measures, but the fact is that our intelligence and law enforcement agencies, no matter how effective they are, cannot identify every would-be mass shooter, whether that individual is motivated by ISIL or some other hateful ideology. What we can do, and must do, is make it harder for them to kill.
My argument with gun control is perfectly represented by this photo. The solution isn't in taking away our guns completely, it's in letting us use our guns when necessary. And the interesting thing about guns and humanity is that guns don't prescribe to an ideology that says if you kill a lot of people, you'll get 72 virgins. But, I mean, that's just me. And a Prius or a pipe bomb are both deadly in the hands of a radical Islamist. Both, they can use either. And I could make a bomb out of gasoline, a metal container, and a fuse. Does that mean we should ban gasoline? No. This method of problem solving doesn't make any sense. Like, you're dealing with the extremities of problems. You're dealing with the symptoms. You're not dealing with the solution. As ISIS is using 100% of their resources, they're taking advantage of Obama's lack of action, and now they're even using social media to recruit. It's either Obama sends in 10,000 troops now and actually does something, or we get a Republican president next year and then he sends in 100,000 troops.
I do not believe in a fate that will fall on us no matter what we do. I do believe in a fate that will fall on us if we do nothing. As for the enemies of freedom, those who are potential adversaries, they will be reminded that peace is the highest aspiration of the American people. We will negotiate for it, sacrifice for it. We will not surrender for it now or ever. Above all, we must realize that no arsenal or no weapon in the arsenals of the world is so formidable as the will and moral courage of free men and women. It is a weapon our adversaries in today's world do not have. It is a weapon that we as Americans do have. Let that be understood by those who practice terrorism and prey upon their neighbors. America must win this war. Therefore, I will work, I will save, I will sacrifice, I will endure. We are Americans.